All right. We are looking good. Meeting is being live streamed. We are connected. I'm going to move this screen on over here. Look at that. All right. Folks, welcome to the Mañana morning check-in. I am your host, Kurt Von Onen, and you'll notice that things look a little different today. And here's the deal. I got a lot of things that I want to talk about today. So let's plow into a few things right off the cuff. First off, I am, pardon me, I am always open to change. I'm always open to constructive criticism. Not people just want to be mean, but constructive criticism. I went to the AIM Expo this last week. It was a great event. Met Robin Hartfield in person, which was awesome. I met Eric Anderson in person. I met Bob Key in person. And, you know, it's one thing to be connected to these people on social media and LinkedIn and people within the industry, but it's a completely different thing to see them in person, shake a hand, and feel like you are connected. Now, while I was at the AIM Expo, I was promoting the Powersport Academy. The Powersport Academy is the #1 project of Mañana. And, you know, I got on a podcast while I was out there. I got to meet a lot of business owners. I mean, there was just a lot of positive energy and a lot of positive things going on at that event. Okay. I drove out in the new camper van. So if you've been paying attention, you know, I got the black SWAT truck and we took that to Las Vegas. It was its maiden voyage. Were there a couple of speed bumps along the way? Absolutely. But no regrets. Absolutely loved having, you know, an apartment on wheels at an event like the exposition. So I was out there and doing our thing. Now, while I was out there, I met a few people that I know, people that are former coworkers, you know, acquaintances, dare I say friends. And I would ask people for feedback. I would say, hey, what do you think is the holdup with the Powersport Academy? What do you think keeps the Powersport Academy from being, you know, one of those dealership household names? And a couple folks were like, no one knows what the heck you do. Right now, if you listen to this on a daily basis and you see me putting out content at the fever pitch that I do, you would say, how is that even possible? It's very possible. You know, on one hand, the industry is very small. On another hand, you got to know the right people and be in touch with the right people and the decision makers that go, well, what does that guy do? And how does that benefit my dealership? And so when I got on Robin Hartfield's podcast with Powersports Business News, I was super excited about that because his first question was a combination question, you know, hey, Kurt Von Onen, you know, who are you and what do you do? And it was really cool to just say, you know, I help motorcycle dealerships grow their service business through parts and labor sales, you know, and then we expanded, right? I teach it differently than most. I focus on communication and leadership. And once we restore or build a culture within that shop that reduces employee turnover and increases communication with customers and with employees, well, once that culture is established, then we can put in processes and procedures that build efficiency and profit. And went through that whole thing, you know, because without culture, nothing sticks. Nothing sticks if you don't fix the culture first. And so being a student of leadership, and if you see the title behind me, a future author in leadership, it's very important to me that we focus on communication and leadership, restore or build the culture, and then move forward, right? And so for me, it's like culture, process, profit. And it was really cool to be able to lay things out like that and just be direct. Now, the other feedback I got was, well, Kurt, your content's good, but your work area is kind of messy. And folks, I got a ton of projects here. I mean, I got this DR650. I got a CRF 250. I've got a camper van I'm building. It looks like to be honest with you, it looks like Jesus is over here making tables. I mean, I got wood stacked up. I got power saws. I got bicycles. And here's the deal. I live here. I work here. But when I heard that, it was like, boom, right to the inner core of me. It was right there. It was like, here I am writing a book on action leadership and representing well, right? Lead people in the way that they should go, right? Take action. And here are people in my audience saying, dude, I like your content and you seem smart, but you know, it's a little messy behind you. And so as soon as I got home from the AIM Expo, it was like, organize, 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 move the desk around, put it back against the wall. So there's a consistent look here. Pardon me, I'm still getting over this cough. The tool board, this is mostly my bicycle special tools stuff. Up there's a picture of me at one of my very first race weekends at Summit Point, West Virginia. Here is, you know, I love this picture I took 2 seasons ago mountain biking. Desk is clean, you know, so I've got 2 desks in here that work. Here's a few books that I'm working on right now. Master Auto Dealership Speed to Sale, right? Master Auto Dealership Speed to Sale. This is by an author named McGinn. I got his book last month. I'm just starting to dive into that. I've got my journal, my spiritual journal. And then I've got Service Writing in Black and White, which is the book that I wrote and published in 2007. And then I've got a book here, Exactly What to Say. This was given to me by Chris Badgett. Chris Badgett is one of the owners of Lifter LMS. I look up to him quite a bit for inspiration and ideas. He sent this book to me and I really enjoy it. I've been, you know, when I have a moment and I want some inspiration, I just kind of dive into that. And then this right here, man, the Automotive Handbook by Bosh. That is a book that it's worth hundreds of dollars. You try and buy one of these things, they're $400 or $500. I've seen them as high as $900. This is an awesome book that goes through and tells a technician, well, tells an engineer actually, you know, how is the sensor made? How does it communicate? What does it look for? And how can you test it? So I really do enjoy that book. I'm going to jump on the Ricola bandwagon here right quick because all this talking is drying out my throat. So I got the whiteboard here, and every now and then I'll have a message up for people that are listening or in the audience or in the meetings that I do on Zoom. Sometimes I draw concepts out and do stuff like that on the whiteboard. So here's the deal. A couple of people said, hey, man, your workspace, it's kind of touch and go, man. You're a little messy. And instead of getting angry, instead of getting defensive, instead of, you know, my way or the highway or any, it's like, you just gave me an idea. I can fix this, right? I can fix this. And if I can make this appear more organized and portray myself as someone that is what I am, you know, organized and focused, then that's a huge benefit, right? That's like, boom, major win. The next thing about the AIM Expo was my goal going there. And I don't know if I've expressed this publicly or not, you know, on this channel, but my goal for 2022 and 2023 is to expand the content on the Powersport Academy. We have a super pardon me. We have a super solid curriculum for service writers and service managers. Super solid. Like I said, no one teaches it like I do. I've got content. I've got curriculum that is there that people can take 24/7, right? 7 days a week. You can jump in and do personal development that will help you become a better service writer, service manager. That's solid. Then we have monthly coaching calls that we do live where we go over your homework and we talk about your personal goals and dreams and how you can take the next steps to get there. So that program, solid, super solid. We've even started doing some dealer visits. Well, you know, if a dealership qualifies, we'll come out and we'll spend some time at the dealership, maybe do a couple of audits, supervise on some phone calls, and then, you know, kind of get together and have a coaching session right there in person, which is super, super cool. I love doing the in-person stuff. I just got to make sure that a dealer staff is at a high enough level to where they'll get enough fruit from the visit, right? Because it's not cheap to have someone come out to your facility. So if you're going to pay to have someone come to your facility, you want to make sure you get that return on investment. So I like to make sure that people do, you know, some online training and online coaching with me first. When they get to a certain level of confidence within my system, And then let's talk about the in-person coaching, and I'll come out and see you, right? So we've started adding that in too. So that is super awesome. Now, as far as adding content goes, I thought, the service writer, service manager content is strong. So how can I add value to dealerships that are using the Powersport Academy? And it occurred to me, Mañana no Más makes the learning website, right? So Mañana no Más is my parent company, and it makes, membership and learning websites and does all this cool stuff. But instead of, let's say that there's brand XYZ. I don't want to name brands because I met a bunch of them this week. So let's say there's brand XYZ, and they're fairly new to the market. They have great aspirations of giving like dealers training and all of these things, but they're still a startup, and to be honest, they're struggling, right? They're struggling to get the material to the United States. They're struggling with distribution. They're struggling with logistics. They're struggling with sales. And then along comes someone like me, who's a training expert, and says, how are you onboarding dealerships? How are you making sure the customer has a consistent experience at the dealership? How are you taking care of your government early warning reporting? How are you then asking them these questions? And it causes them not to stumble or fail, but to go, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we need that. And I go, great. As far as training technicians and training service writers and service managers and parts managers and parts counter people, I already have a website built for teaching dealerships. So you don't need to have your own learning management system and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to some developer. I already have that channel. So let's do this. If you already have content, let's strategize a way to get that content onto the Powersport Academy and make it an additional resource for the dealers that are already on the Powersport Academy, right? So if we add the content to the Powersport Academy, it adds value to the dealers that are already working with the Powersport Academy. So if that dealer brings on brand XYZ, they can go, oh, well, here's the training for that right here in Kurt's website. Perfect. Now, how do I get the benefit out of that? The benefit I get out of that is the hundreds of dealers that they've signed up that need the onboarding, that need a consistent, training methodology to get their dealership up to speed. They now have exposure to the idea that Powersports Academy has a training program for service writers and service managers. So even if I just get a percentage of people that go, hey, and all I'm looking for is the phone call, right? Hey, are you the guy that trains service writers and service managers? I just signed up with brand XYZ, and they recommended you to train our service staff. That's all I'm looking for, right? And so I got to stop saying right. I got to stop saying right. So as that begins to take place in 2022 and 2023, you're going to start to see kind of an evolution of the Powersport Academy from going from a fixed operation service writer, service manager training portal to being the online resource for dealers to get information on the brands that they do business with. And I'm super excited about that because the amount of traction we got in 3 days at the AIM show, quite honestly, surprised me. I had some personal goals. I had some desires. And I was like, I'm really hoping that I can leave the show with boom, boom, boom. And I left the show with boom, da boom, da boom, 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 boom. And it was really nice. Really, really, really super nice. Now, can I change the channel for a little bit? I'd love to. I want to talk to you about a personal experience. I told you about the travel van. We built that and we took that to Vegas. I drove that to Vegas. Actually registered it on Tuesday so I could drive it on Wednesday to Las Vegas. Perfect, right? Temporary tag right on the back. What I said to my wife as I was leaving was, I packed a compressor and some tire plug tools and stuff like that. The only thing that makes me nervous is the truck's tires are old and they're dry cracked on the outside. And so these weather check tires make me nervous, and I'm worried that I might have a blowout. Now it's a dually, right? So if I lose a tire, I lose a tire. But I was like, I just hope I don't have a blowout. I drove the thing to Las Vegas, no problems, right? Got out there, had my apartment at the facility. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I wish I would have done this 20 years ago. I'm at the event, and like that midday thing rolls around. Everybody's like, "Hey, what are you gonna do for lunch? Are you gonna hit the food court? There's a food truck out there. There's, we got to be back in like 45 minutes. Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do?" And everyone just seems like in a rush and unsatisfied. I calmly walked out to my apartment on wheels, made myself lunch, turned on some smooth jazz, laid down on my sofa bed for about 20 minutes just to recharge, got up, washed my face because I have running water in the thing. So I washed my face, brushed my teeth. And when I walked back into the show at like 1:00, I felt like $1 million. It was just awesome. And then when I decided to find a place to park and sleep, which I did legally, right? So found a place to park and sleep. I had all my stuff with me. I didn't have to like unpack into a hotel room and then repack as I left and make sure I don't leave anything behind and all that stuff. Everything was with me. On the second night, I looked up, I have an app that tells you where you can park and stuff like that. So I looked up in the app and I found a place that was at a park. It was at a trailhead of a hiking trail outside of Las Vegas by about 14 miles. And it said gravel parking lot. You can park overnight, boom, boom, boom. So I get out there and I see that like the parking is like by a cliff, and I back the truck up to that cliff. So I didn't need to cover the back windows because there's no one that's going to like rock climb to look in the back of my truck, right? So I pulled the back of the truck up to the edge of that cliff. Back windows are facing over the cliff, and it was dark, so I wasn't sure what I was going to see in the morning. And then I hung the curtain up over the front door so that people don't look in through the cab. And I had a sandwich, enjoyed a nice cold beer, and put on some jazz and went to sleep. Folks, when I woke up, I open my eyes, and the sunrise is coming through the back window. And I was like, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if you're a spiritual person, it's like, that's a God moment, right? You're like, wow, that's really nice. I go up front, I yank down the curtain, and there's like a mountain in front of the truck that I didn't see when I parked there at night. And it's being like backlit by the sunrise coming up the other way. It was phenomenal. Pardon me. Anyway, what a way to wake up. Finished out the show. That was Friday. So we finished out the show. On the way home, across the California state line, I'm going up the big hill. Boom. Blew one of the tires. Blew the inside left on the rear. So my heart rate didn't even go up 10 beats. I was just like, no, bummer, blew a tire. Started looking up, started calling roadside assistance. They wanted like $800 or $900 for a tire. By the time you figure it all out with the mileage and the labor fee and all this stuff, it would have been $800 or $900. And so I'm like, oh, where's the nearest tire place? Las Vegas. So the truck was still drivable, but only at like 25 miles an hour. So I'm driving down, driving down the shoulder, 25 miles an hour, trying to get to Las Vegas. And I'm just dialing people up on the phone. Do you have a tire that fits my van? How late are you open? Do you have a tire that fits my van? How late are you open? Found a shop that would stay open for me, had tires in stock. And I thought I was going to have to, sleep in the parking lot overnight is what I was expecting, right? I already called my wife and said, hey, I'm going to be a day late. I'm going to stay in Vegas another night. I got there. I bought the guys cheeseburgers, right? Because they stayed late for me. So I bought the guys some cheeseburgers. They start working on the truck right away, thinking they're going to replace one tire. Folks, when they pulled the tires off of that truck, the inner sidewall of the tires was like decaying. It was like falling apart, like peeling apart. In my mind right there, I was like, it was angels that got me back to Las Vegas, right? So while they're working on the truck, because I said, hey, guys, can we do all four? And the guys are like, yeah, we can do all four. So they start doing the 4 tires. I started helping them close the store. It was after hours. So I'm helping them roll in wheels and tires and all that stuff. This is like an old school tire store. So I helped them close the store. And at the end, the tires were supposed to be $180 a piece. The guy goes, okay, For you, the tires are $150. For me, what's this for me thing, right? It's amazing what a cheeseburger can do. And he writes, 4 tires, $150, $600. And I said, are you sure? And he goes, oh, yes. For you, is it $600? Well, I got 4 brand new tires on the back of my dually truck for $600. Didn't charge me for labor, valve stems. I mean, any of that nonsense. And I thought, wow, this thing's going to shake like crazy when I get on the highway. And it was smooth as glass. Now, I'm one of those people that always believes that there's a reason for everything, right? The universe puts us together in ways where we add value to each other. So, maybe that guy needed to sell 4 tires to make his rent this month. Maybe, right? But I got on the highway. I drove back into California. And as I'm coming around a blind left-hand curve on the highway, there's headlights in the left shoulder looking at me, right? Freaks me out. Put on my turn signal. I yank it over to the shoulder. Why is the van pointed the wrong way? It was a Mercedes Sprinter van. I'm like, why is this thing pointed the wrong way? And sure enough, these 2 dudes, one guy's up walking around already on his phone. Mercedes called him right away. Another guy's sitting in the dirt. I go over, I check him out. I ask him, hey, what's your name? What's today's date? What day of the week is it? Who's the president? All that stuff, in case he had a concussion or something like that. And he had a bruise on his elbow. Other than that, both of these guys, fine. And I go, how did the van get here? Did you guys roll off of the elevated highway? So they were northbound. I was southbound. Northbound's elevated by, I don't know, 75, 80 feet, right? It's up like a hill, a cliff. They rolled off of that thing. Bam, bam, bam. And landed, tires down, headlights facing the wrong way up the road. So right then and there, I said, hey, you guys are up, you're ambulatory. Let's turn off your headlights so you don't cause an accident. Let's just leave the flashers on. Mercedes already has the police coming. You guys are okay? Yes. I mean, like no one needs a tourniquet, right? And I said, look, you guys seem to be taken care of. I'm going to get going, but is it okay if we just pray with you on the street right now? Thank God for taking care of you. And they were so grateful. And the 3 of us, stood there for a few minutes and prayed. And then I got back in my truck and I drove on. And I can't help but think to myself, like, think of the day's events, right? A tire that shouldn't have held air longer than it should have. Then I have the blowout. I don't get upset. Why? Any normal person would get upset. Go back, I end up buying 4 tires instead of 1. You think I'd be upset? I'm still not upset. Everything works out, better than it should. And then I pick these 2 guys up off the side of the road. It's almost like all these puzzle pieces in the universe just get put together the right way. Now, whatever your beliefs are, is fine. I'm a Christian. I believe that God aligns these things. Other people might say it's the energy, it's the moon, it's the phases of the sun, it's the, whatever. But I'm just always amazed at the way things work out. And I was really glad that I was able to be there for those 2 guys. Then I got home. I was home before midnight. Couldn't believe it. Folks, I went long today. But there's a lot of things going on. The AIM Expo was tremendous. Seeing people was tremendous. You're looking at this and you're saying, why is he wearing an orange t-shirt called Speed the Lead? This came from Joe Iribarren. Here it is, Dealer Lead Pro, right? Joe was there. He had a booth. I gave him a Mañana no Mas shirt. He gave me a Speed the Lead shirt. And I want to make sure I represent my friends. Joe does a BDC company, helps people, motorcycle dealerships, marine dealerships, automotive, I think too, capture their leads, has a CRM tool, helps them communicate with their customers. What he does is a tremendous service and helps dealers drive business. And so Joe's a friend of mine. I wanted to make sure I represent him well. So, and I didn't even cough when I was telling you what he did. So it must be meant to be, right? So I saw Jason Gerald. He was a guest on the Powersports Roundtable. And I saw him there in person. First time we've met in person, even though he lives right over the hill. And so he was out there doing motorcycle industry jobs. And of course, people know him as the Phoenix handlebar guy. So that was a really, really good, great event. Seeing Robin Hartfield in person, again, somebody that I've talked to repeatedly, somebody that I've spent a lot of time. I've written articles for the Powersport Dealer News, all that stuff. And again, he lives right over the hill. Well, it was the first time we've met each other in person, and it was really, really good to put, the face in the handshake with the person. So, folks, I'm going to keep working on the Action Leadership book, and it's still coming out this quarter, so we're still on time. We're looking good there. I'm going to keep moving forward on the brands for the Powersport Academy and adding to that library. And to be honest with you, I'm working on my health and getting over these allergies. As soon as you look out here in California, as soon as these mountains start to turn green, I get allergies and start coughing like crazy, as you can tell. And it's just not workable to think, well, I'll go live when I stop coughing, because it could be 6 weeks from now before I stop coughing. So just want to say hi. I love you guys. Thanks for following me. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.